Thank you very much. We're going to get straight to it. Today's session is all about the benefits of Striver. And quickly, before we dig deep, I've known this for a while, knowing Tim, and I'm so glad we managed to look at a topic that we all know that social media has such an impact on and off the pitch. But this is different. This needs to be the future, in my humble opinion. So in this session, we'll be talking about what is the purpose of Striver. Then we'll be looking at how this app, giving you a little hint of this challenge, sort of community feature is such a great aspect with this app. And finally, and most importantly, how can it benefit the women's game? So let's get straight to it. Tim, what is the purpose of Striver?
So Striver is trying to make the world a little bit of a better place. And the way we do that is we are the world, as you can see on the screens, we're the world's first abuse-free social media platform. So we use AI to remove hate totally. Now, instead of existing platforms that moderate the content but retrospectively, so you post on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, they then moderate it, and should it then maybe it gets removed. But by that point, the damage has already been done. People have screen grabbed it or shared it or screen recorded it. Our platform's totally different. We moderate before it goes live. So we moderate all comments, even usernames, bios, everything gets moderated before it even goes live to the platform. So you click send or upload, it then goes to moderation. Should it go through moderation, then it goes live. So that removes, I think, 99.9817% of abuse, which is pretty close.
That's awesome, Hinge. But I'm going to bring you in from a player standpoint. What got you involved? One, being business partners, but why you wanted to get involved in this from a social media aspect, from a player standpoint?
Well, before knowing Team Athens, and I must say that this place, particular Athens, has something around meeting him, because by the time we met, I was sports director at Panathinaikos, you know, a special club for me, special place, people. And on that time, we worked with this man here, Agis, and we got along so well. But on the time when we met, I went to an event, you know, in England, and then we met. And a few years later, I went back to London to live with the family. And then we have an opportunity to talk again and to meet each other and on a sports event. And then he talked to me about what Striver, on that time it was not Striver, was True Challenge. And he mentioned to me what he was creating, what was his idea. And as a father, I said, wow, you have my attention. Because he got us, you know, he was going to explain later, but, you know, he created something where his son could not only interact with the internet, with the social platform, with mobile, but do something for his health, you know, do some actions. And I said, oh, this is interesting, because I have a kid. I assume many people here in this room have a kid. I said, why not? This is interesting. And then I joined him because I see the purpose of it, you know, just not stop his kids, his son, to use the technology, but teaching him you know, how to use it with a good purpose to be healthy, especially mentally. Mm-hmm. Because nowadays we see how problematic it became when people with bad intention come to use the social platform, or they are on the street, anywhere. But it's very difficult to stop them to use the mobile phone, use social media, helping them, but be on a safe environment.
Can we bring in True Challenge a little bit? Just because I think, again, we did another podcast on this, with, as Gilberto was saying, the interaction of, it started with connecting with your true heroes through the challenge. Can we touch on that? Because I think it relates to what Gilberto was saying from a challenge standpoint. And then we'll talk back to Striver from a social media platform.
Yeah, no, so I came up with the idea of a True Challenge. Basically, I was a single dad, so my son was 3, and I was a single dad not knowing what on earth was going on in the world. And all he wanted to do was watch his iPad. He was watching a little kid called Ryan's Toy Review, endlessly watching a kid playing with toys. And I couldn't get my head around why he would watch a kid play with toys when he's got thousands of toys in his bedroom. It made absolutely no sense to me. It still doesn't, but there we go. So I thought, he's obviously got this power, what we now call influence. The power of these influences, I could see, you know, we was just watching him all the time, and then want to buy the toy that he was playing with in the video. I thought, well, there must be a way of utilising the power of that influencer, but but making it for good. So rather than just watching, do this, watch this, buy this, is actually try something active, get healthy, do something. So the first idea I had was this Ryan's tour review saying, this is how you build the best fort. Go and grab your mum and dad's duvet and 10 pillows and show me the best fort you can make. But obviously with that, it had to have a safe environment. So True Challenge had a zero tolerance policy against abuse, which we did manually. And then during COVID, we worked with the United Nations. I think we got 140,000 users in 48 hours. And I realized that we're probably on to something. We need to get some grown-ups involved in this business. So we then realized that we could use AI to remove the hate. So we could then scale massively. Did I answer your question?
You did, but I want to touch on I want to touch on from True Challenge to Striver. When did the penny drop for both of you going, there's a bigger problem? Gilberto, I'm going to go back to the player side because I'm going to say majority of this room, we take it for granted that if we post something, it's very likely that people ignore it. But when it's somebody with your status, your career on and off the pitch, there's that abuse aspect. And I think we need to touch on this because from the game, we know it's there. There's been enough cases that show that players, when they do an action on the pitch, can influence a lot off the pitch. I'm going to stick to Twitter because it's like, like a hot fire that just blows up. So when was the moment for both of you when there's a bigger picture of the abuse standpoint, which then implements the purpose of Striver?
It's your turn to answer a question.
Go on.
I think on a player's point of view, I think one of it's so nice when you have a good game and see the platform talk well about you. The fans they come on to your social media and well done, you had a great game. When you had a terrible game, when your team lose, and some of those people who the game before. They were very happy, they turn their opinion. They have a different thoughts about you, or you are not good enough. And some of them, they go over what is necessary, honestly. And this creates a big noise on the players, a fear, because, we spoke some of the problems we face in football early on, but, on the players, some of them, they lose somehow their freedom to go out. They are scared because people go there, they are afraid of going out for dinner with their parents because they say, if I go, somebody will come to me and attack me and be violent, and I don't want to have that. And then they use the social media to create this problem for the players and these harassments. And I've seen many of the players, face a lot of problems nowadays because, now, before, when I started playing football, I didn't have a mobile phone. Nowadays, mobile phone is not only a mobile phone, because the last thing we do with my mobile phone is call to people. But we change message. We look on social media. We send message, voice messages, but not call properly. But then it became an office, the gadget. But even worse for the kids is now, my opinion, part of their body. Because they sleep with them, they stay, they go to the toilet, they go to the kitchen, they walk on the street, watching this, they don't pay attention what's around them. This became quite dangerous. And for the players, when they have a bad game, this is what happened. People go there and accuse them a lot of things. And they are afraid. Some of them have a lot of mental problem because of that. It's a lot of disturb and depression. I'm the last few days I've been very concerned because a lot of players came out talk about it. Of course, I cannot say because I can't prove that everything's about internet. But there is a piece of it connected to how much time we spend and not know what exactly we spend our time on that. Because if you know how to do it, okay, but if you don't know, and some players, they are not on, let's say, with the good information they should.
So just bring back to the app itself for the abuse. You touched it very briefly with the AI. Could you go in a little bit more detail? Well, they give to its secrets, but more how is it managed on the platform itself, of how fans interact? That would be great.
Well, the fans rather than the AI?
The fans of moderating the abuse with the wording and language, that side.
Yes, the AI, when you upload a video, we don't just look at a rude word. We look at the phrase, we look at the phrase, if you like. Then we look at the sentence, then we look at the message as a whole, and we actually, in the later version of the app, will give a sentiment rating so we can tell how positive or negative that person is. If that percentage drops below 75%, we have a mental fitness platform that actually will kick in and go, is everything all right? You're being particularly negative on social media. Have you thought about, is everything okay? Have you spoken to somebody? Because it could well be that they're struggling with something in their personal life. That's why it's coming out on social media.
And just with regards to a habit, because that's the other thing with social media, everything is a habit. What you were saying, Gilberto, it's our phones connected us all the time. With the response you've had from players already, because this is driven by other players behind the scenes, could you just share a little bit behind the scenes of other players who've added their input as ambassadors to build this the right way as well?
And this is why I have been talking to them, to be the ambassadors, because we, joint team is about what we believe can help people and benefit people, as long they are using the social platforms. And when I talk to them, they feel very happy and relieved somehow, because they know, oh, wow, this is interesting because I can interact with the fans, I can be there without being afraid of what people are talking, because this is on a positive way. And people sometimes, say, well, and they come sometimes with the technical aspect. I say, listen, I have some other people, more knowledgeable than me. But this is what we believe, to serve the world in the best way. I think me and Tim have been speaking about this. When we, the point we start, when we speak to the players, we say, the message is the same. Listen, we want you to be on a safe environment, and you are part of the society. Your message has power. Instead, you just stand still and don't do anything. Just join us. Help us to spread the good message. Spread, what we believe can contribute to people's life. Because if I can contribute with one life, this life can make a lot, many good things to another life and another one. We know sometimes it's hard, some things, but I think this is what we believe. To do the good things is not easy, but in our opinion, is the right thing.
I'm going to put you on the spot quickly. How do you define a safe environment from this app perspective?
Define is, let's say, we start with our belief. How do I create this the safe environment? I would choose the people I hang out. It's like we can be in a safe environment with the people I hang out with, the kind of conversation I want to have with people, what kind of future I want for my kids, my family, and what kind of future, what kind of benefit I want to people. How can I serve you? How can I serve you, anybody, on the best way as possible? Listen, and by that, it's not about what people sometimes make a confusion. I need to be rich to do things well, to do things right. It's not about money. It's just about how can I serve the world and help to make the world a best place for us to live. I don't know how long I'm going to live, but as long as I'm here, I want to choose the people I hang out with, and who I sit down, the place I go, coming here is very special. Because we have this opportunity, but also, learn from others and bring the good ideas and for us to improve what we are doing.
I think it's important to say what we've learned by removing hate. So removing that abuse bit has done a few things. So one, the players are more happy to engage with their fans. It brings them closer. And the players we're talking to actually do genuinely want to engage with the fans. And we don't remove negativity, we remove abuse. So you can still be critical, you just can't do it in an abusive way, because that's impacting on freedom of speech. So what we've learned is that, one, just by listening to the fans and sharing their content, your social media goes absolutely mad. So for one example, one player from Man United we work with, he averaged 6 million views, 6 million impressions a month and 600,000 pieces of engagement. Just 1 month of working with us, he went to 57.5 million impressions and 6.1 million pieces of engagement. And all he did was share 4 examples of his fans taking part in his challenges. That's it. Just by giving them a platform to talk about, to show off their skills, and then reinforcing them, saying, well done, literally his social media grew massively. His engagement grew by 243% and his audience grew by 43%. So just by listening to fans and giving them the opportunity to communicate with you, it blows up. And it blows my mind that no one else has done it. I think it's brilliant that no one else has done it, but I'm thankful, but I can't believe nobody else has done it yet.
Just on that point, you said it was like 4 pieces of content. Could you dig deeper the type of content on the platform? Because for me, that's awesome, because it's like we're always posting content daily, but this is like less is more, but more impact as well.
Yeah, so we're not saying don't use any other social media platform. We'll be pretty ballsy to do that. But we said we're part of your social media arsenal. So, to use the pun. So you post on Striver a challenge or a conversation. It's can you do a crossbar challenge, or what do you think Arsenal are going to win the Premier League this year? Let's choose a conversation. So Gilberto posts, do you think Arsenal are going to win the Premier League this year? And I reply, absolutely not. But I give a reason why. And I say, do you know what? You need a new striker. Jesus is probably going to get injured. He seems to be injury prone. So Gilberto has his first video. Then there's a layer of people that communicate with that, who respond to Gilberto's video. Gilberto can click on a video that he likes. The look of the app is similar to TikTok. He can click one button that's called feature. I get a notification saying, Tim, Gilberto Silva's responded to you, has featured you. I go, holy crap, what does that mean? I click on the notification, it's my video in his feed. So I feel amazing that Gilberto Silva, my hero, former hero, has featured my video.
I'm still your hero.
You are my hero. Cheers, Dad. Has featured me, but then also everybody else who follows Gilberto gets that notification saying that Tim has been featured by Gilberto. And because he's vouched for me, I'm getting all the positivity of his audience, either reinforcing or criticising my opinion, or if it was a piece of skill, they're saying, well done, how long did that take? So it's a positive community that he's building. Now, he features 5, it's getting really complicated. So you have the first video, then you have the responses of the first wave, and he features 2 or 3 of those. The fans can then respond to that response. So now he has a big layer of people communicating themselves. So his audience is now communicating, but all he had to do was one firework moment of asking an opinion, and now his fan base is going rife.
How have you found it with some of the challenges you've done so far on the platform?
He's pulled his hamstring.
It's nice because, one of the good things, because when I create some challenge for them, the idea for me, the good thing, because I do with the football, sometimes it's difficult nowadays, it's not so easy anymore, but bring myself to do some action, some activity, and bring them to do some actions. For example, I'll give you an example. I set up a challenge of, let's now do 10 keeping ups, and now I'll do 10 heads, and I want you to follow me. And the point for me is not, for example, they do it on the first time, because they can not do it the first time. No problem. It's fine. You can make mistake. I make mistake. Don't worry. Until I get the 10, I try so many times. My message to them is afterwards, don't worry how many times you miss. The important thing, you keep trying. Go, you miss, try again, until you get it. And when you learn how to do things and go from this one and try to improve some other things. It's like when improving things in life, This is what I try to keep them, bring them to action instead of just sit down, scroll on the mobile, touching the screen and so on. They don't really understand what they are, seeing on the screen because they do it so fast. But bring them to action because I do believe that sports, have a great benefit, not only for your health, on your body, to have a good shape, but mentally also because, we overcome so many things, some challenges. I was talking before in the lunch, when I, for example, stay 2 weeks without training, my first day, it's tough. It's hard, it's painful. I think for all of us here, if you try, it's okay. There's no problem. Just do it again the next day, and then the pain goes. And with, the problems, when we do the sports, we bring the kids and anyone to this action is for them to get to certain standards, to improve, you have to try as much as you can. And don't worry if you make mistake. Mistake is part of the learning process. I think we want to also encourage them to, If they make mistake, don't worry.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. Just try again.
Tim, just to say a state the obvious question, it's not just the influencers that can do the challenges and conversations,
No.
the fans can as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Everybody, on our platform, everybody's equal. It doesn't matter if you have 10 million followers on Instagram or 5 on Facebook like me. Everybody's treated exactly the same. It's all about opportunity and effort. It's what we reward.
So can we talk about the motto? You said to me before, it's all about us, not I. Could you just delve into that with regards to the vision
Yeah.
of Striver? Because I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, so existing social platforms, which are fantastic. I mean, you could argue that Facebook is, social media has been a positive influence on the world or a negative, but they started it. And existing social platforms is all about me, what am I doing, what am I doing, what am I doing, look what I've got, look what I bought. We say it's not about we, it's about us. And Gilberto's audience, our platform is designed for Gilberto's audience to engage with him, see what he's going to, and get involved with him, rather than just, hey, this is the new pair of trainers that I bought, which are very nice. It's all about it's about we, not me.
So relating to the third theme, how can Striver benefit, women's football from the different components? We've touched on the players, but I want to go back to the players of, like, they're watching this, how can they sign up and build new following, but maybe a different audience to some of the male players. I'm just curious on that side of things.
Do you want me to do that one?
Do you want to go with that, Gilberto?
Well, we are here to help them in the best way as we can. And I'm sure there is a lot of common ground for us because what we are here for is to deliver a good message. And when I speak about women's game and to some people and see what's going on when people have a different opinion about it, they don't really understand what's the game and what they talk about when they don't support it. Because look to the women's game, it's about look to my daughters. Look to my mother, my grandmother, my future grandchild, who is a woman who loves the game and loves football. And what's the point of not supporting them? We are here to support women's football. And we were so excited to come here to learn with all of you. I've learned so much this morning. You don't know how much. And this is our mission. I think we have this, in terms of contribute to the world as we think, as we believe in this, what we call the safe environment, but also help the women's football to raise their voice, to support them in the best way as we can. I think this is what we're here for.
I think there's a big opportunity with us because I think some of the larger footballers seem to be untouchable. Their audience is so massive and they're like godlike people. I think they can be seen as a bit untouchable. I think what the women's game has the opportunity to do now is use the power of the talent and the players that they have right now to help bring up the next level of young women footballers. And just by simply through our platform, or just generally speaking, just use our platform to help grow your audience, but engage with a younger group of people, a younger group of younger women, to bring them through to the football and give them the confidence in an abuse-free environment.
So just on that, we talk about players. I now want to talk about teams because teams are now leveraging social media. I just think if you had teams on the platform, they could be so creative, even more with their community at the club, but also in a separate space, which is, as you say, there's that no abuse safe area. So Tim, I'm going to love to hear your thoughts on that from a team standpoint.
Yeah, so we haven't said this. We're launching on the 14th of November.
I know.
We don't think we mentioned that at all.
No, we didn't yet. But,
So, yeah,
well, what's the potential, should we say?
So we can't say
do?
who it is, but we've got 4 Premier League clubs joining us straight away, as well as a number of other organisations. I've forgotten your question, I'm so sorry.
How teams can utilise Striver for their communities at the club, or even the women's team itself.
Yeah, so you can use your individual athletes to then engage with your audience and it can be about engaging overseas as well as your local team. So instead of just the people in the stadium, you can set challenges and conversations to engage with the audience globally, rather than just locally at the club.
And I'm going to bring in the next one, like federations. Could they come on board and do a lot of collaborations as well? Because I'm trying to think this bigger, everybody, because if we have a place where everybody can win out the whole situation without the abuse, it's a better platform. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like you said, you worked with Agis from a club standpoint firstly, but why federations should at least be speaking to you in that side of things?
Well, when they listen to the ideas where people want to contribute to the game, it's always important. And for us, important, like was said before, the federation, they have their responsibility because they run the games, they create the rules and etc. And we are here as a player, as a journalist, as a social platform, anybody here in this room, doctors, to contribute to the game, to make the game better on a every day, to make the progress. And if they don't listen, I think everybody loses a good opportunity to improve and to make, let's say, the space better for everybody. Just listen. Sometimes, maybe we come up with, let's say, 5 ideas, but if one idea makes sense for them, there is a progress. There's a progress where we open channels to other people's opinion and to make the progress, even more progress, We cannot do things alone. They cannot do things alone. The players cannot do things alone. But as long as we work together, there is a possibility of make a big change in a short time of space, But the hardest thing, the obstacle we have as a player, I understand the pain of many of you, the doctors, Dimitris talked about it, the frustration he got, because some people, when they are in the position, when they don't listen to you, then at some point people get tired. But listen, we all want a better game. Mm-hmm. I want to take my kids, go to any stadium, but I want to go there and be safe, come back home. I want to enjoy the game. I want the game is nice to be nice environment in every aspect, And if they don't listen, I think they lose an opportunity. But I'm sure, that is we are talking to some people. They are, very open-minded to listen, sit down, and see what can be possible.
And Tim, just from a World Cup perspective, which we had down under, can competitions be involved again, potentially, on that side of things? Because the TV viewing this was off the charts from Australia, so it would be cool if there were, should we say, interactions on Striver from a community standpoint as well. So I just want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah,
well, I'm putting on the spot.
Yeah,
we
didn't agree on this question.
I know, but...
So, I think anyone who has an audience who wants to get closer to their fan base, they can absolutely use our platform. But we've been selective who we use because we don't want a club that's just going to use it like existing social media. Our platform is all about engaging with your fans. You can do it as seamlessly and easily as possible on our platform. But yeah, so as long as you're willing to engage with your fan base, absolutely we can work with you.
Okay, so Tim, back to you. Could you just give the timeline of when it's launched, like signing up potentially? Because I saw your statistics with your beta group, 95% were happy how they signed up. It was very, very efficient, which I thought was amazing because nowadays it's always challenging to set up new accounts. So could you just touch on that so the audience know potentially when to sign up?
Yeah, so with the launch you can download the app now. I'm not supposed to say that, but the app is in the store now. And yeah, so from the 14th of November, I think 12:20.
Okay.
I'll say 12:20. 12:20 is live, where all the players will be coming on board, and the clubs and the brands, and everyone will be going live then.
Gilberto, just from a journey perspective, how excited are you with this launch now? Because you said it's all baby steps right from the start.
It's like, for me, it's like going to a final of a World Cup with the whole expectation. But a good expectation, honestly. But not exactly, because we are not going to compete to anybody. I think the expectation I have and we have now is just to, how the app is going to be there for people to use to their own benefit and the benefit of the others. I think this is our goal. And the expectation is because this is something we have been working so hard in the last years. It's something we believe that can contribute to sports and to people, to their, health, body, but also their mental health also. And on this point of view, that's why we feel sometimes the anxiety, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. I say, I'm anxious now, let's see, I want to see these games. I have this feeling when I had some games. I love that, but this is a good feeling to have because, all the hard work we have done in the past years now is nearly, we are going to start a new chapter of it, and we are so excited about it.
I think we're done. The reason I say that, I wanted time for questions because, for me, I've had so many beforehand, but I thought with the floor, if you had any, this is a perfect time because if you do have any now, ask away. We've got 5 minutes. Rachel, do you have a mic, please?
I'm quite loud.
I'll crack on.
Thank you ever so much. That was really, really interesting. And I apologise if you said it, and I've been speaking to a lot of my friends here. We're all menopausal, and sometimes we forget somebody's just said something, let our own names. Could you tell us how many of your influencers are female, male?
Yep.
And what kind of traction you're getting from females in your the groups that you've been kind of playing with and practicing with?
Good question. So we've only just started the recruitment drive of the talent and athletes. So I believe we have one, maybe two female athletes out of 20 top. Sorry, I'm being attacked by flies. I'm not just got doing random ninja moves. Yeah, exactly. Someone telling me. But we would love to have, we desperately want female athletes to be on the platform, both clubs and individual talent. It's absolutely where we see us. As a father to a one-year-old daughter, it's 100% where we want to be.
Any more? I think we'll finish up, gents. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you very much.
Cheers.